get those little board entries in, and we got some big announcements. So let's get right into it. Hey, we got Rocco in the chat already. Love to see that. Just got off listening to the Fantasy Goats podcast. Definitely give those guys a listen. Love Ron and the Shepherd. Great show there. Ton of draft content. Well, I did a little bit of a bait and switch here because I was talking draft content, but what we're doing here is what we're always doing here. We're hitting an underdog draft. So without further ado, let's get that started. Just kidding. We got a league champ thing to talk about. So the draft contest is up and live. It's starting soon. You got 5 more days to get yours in. Plenty of time to get your entry in. Get on there. Would love to see more people on the app getting after it. But we will get right into it. Let's hit this draft. Let me find what screen this is on. Sorry about my voice here. This is actually what 4 days in corporate America does to me, man. I cannot talk normal no more. But let's get these little board entries up and going. Okay. Yep. $3 will be deducted. I am ready for it. Nah, I don't need notifications right now. All right. We got a little bit of time here. We're going to be coming up. We got Jamie, and he's got his cup. All he needs is 2 girls. Love that he's getting the Joe. That's fantastic to see. What's your guys' best ball strategy? This is one of the first years I haven't had my little boards filled up by this late in the draft season. I normally try and get it going a little bit earlier. So it's going to be interesting seeing how that works out. And I am at the 101. Okay. So we're going to be going hot and heavy here. Didn't get a lot of time to start, but we got 43 seconds. So I'm going to go after it. Like and subscribe. Definitely check out the League Champ app. We got a draft contest running. We got a bunch of different stats, and we are up and moving. Have loved the support from everyone lately. We've seen a lot of positive growth, and we are going to try and keep it going. I know, Rob. I'm normally done for a month. Yeah, I've been trying to do some rookie content, dude. You pick one or the other. You research or you play. Yeah, I'm currently in the research stage, so we'll see how that works out. But this is my first 101 in a while, so we're gonna see how it goes. I still got 10 left, so this is gonna be a fun week for me. Definitely tune in for us. We're gonna have a ton of stuff coming out on draft night, but we got the draft starting in 1 second, so let's get after it. All right, I am at the 101 here. I don't have a ton of Bijan or Gibbs. I haven't had a lot of 101s in my little board. I think I gotta go Bijan here because, when am I going to get that exposure otherwise? Screw it. We're taking him. I end up with a lot of Jamar Chase because he tends to be the first guy that stays there a little bit longer than you'd expected. But going with Bijan doesn't feel that bad. We got Gibbs coming off the board right after. Gibbs feels like he could be a oh, we got Jamie from Dynasty Six Pack throwing some takes out there. Love Jamie's show. Be sure to check out their stuff. Cat is here trying to give me an allergy attack. Get out of here, Sophie. Do you always go Bijan at the 101, though? Is that going to hold up into the season? What if they take a Katron Allen and replace Tyler Algier with slightly better Tyler Algier? I don't know. You got to get the exposures you can get, but at least for myself, the thing I found as I'm going through these little boards is variation in structure is the thing that's saving me the most because it's probably going to be a bad roster if I take Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts in the first 6 rounds, but both those guys are falling pretty far right now. So if you can get that unique team structure, not many teams are going to have that sort of build where you can actually get yourself through the season. You have a chance at week 16 and 17 getting that big game from 2 separate quarterbacks. I don't know. I see the utility in trying to do something unique with your board, but I would caution to say at the 101, that's probably not your best option. So whatever, to each their own. But we are moving straight into it. I'm up in 12 picks here. Just to round out the first round, in case anybody was wondering here. We had Jameer Gibbs at 2. We have, I'm gonna do it on this screen because it's a little easier. And it's gone. Of course it's gone. First time using a computer, actually. So we had Jameer Gibbs at 2, Jamar Chase at 3. See that a lot. Puka Nakua at 4. Still going pretty high. Jonathan Taylor at 5, JSN at 6. I'm a little surprised the Jonathan Taylor hype has gotten to this level because it feels early in the offseason for him to be at the level where he's actually going 105 already. That feels like a ceiling pick. JSN, Amon Ra at 7, always safe. CMC back at 9 or at 8. That continues to be a buy low of this offseason. CD and Justin Jefferson back in the first round. Rocco called this one correctly. JJ was never going to last in the second. Should have taken that value while you could. Cook at 11. Gene T at 12. Still feels like good value there. Achan at 13. Barkley, Walker, Jeremiah Love. Walker at 2-3 is a bit rich for my blood, but I'm still happy to have him there. He's such a talented player. Neighbors falling to 2-5, Hampton 2-6, and Henry at 2-7. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm a little surprised to see Derrick Henry and CMC this far down after last season. We saw what the upside is, and any running back can end up in that spot where they get injured. So we're coming up. We got 2 picks. I'd love to take Trey McBride and Brock Bowers, but Trey McBride just got taken, so I ain't doing that. Brock Bowers has been an easy one for me here. He's fallen all the way to 24, and I really don't see the rationale. I think he's going to be Mendoza's favorite player. I'm going to queue him up there so that he's an easy pick. And at that backup, like I don't know. I like Nico here. I have a lot of Nico. I'm almost inclined to go Olave at this spot, but you know what? Nico is just my higher guy on the board. I can't even do it. I love Olave. I'm taking Olave there. Okay. Who are you seeing benefit the most from the changes with the Chargers? Like list it out maybe. Okay. I can do that. I I really see one Omarion Hampton. One Omarion Hampton is going to take some benefit from the Chargers. Just from the offensive line getting healthy alone, I think is going to be a huge benefit for Omarion. Now, they got Keaton Mitchell there, and I think he's basically going to go 1-for-1, splitting that time with Vidal that was taken away from Hampton in the first place. I think that the extra year and the recovery from the injury will really give Hampton the space to grow into a number 1 talent. But we'll see if that actually holds up because Mitchell has been known to carve out a role. Hell, he did it with Derrick Henry. But past that, I'm a huge believer in buying back in Lad McConkey because Lad McConkey was coming up with like 1,100 yards a couple seasons ago or last season, season before last. But nevertheless, he goes in there and he doesn't have Keenan Allen right on his behind the whole season. So now he gets to actually have another season with Justin Herbert, potentially have a more condensed target tree. I'm still a fan of Trey Harris, but he isn't going to get the same target volume that Keenan Allen did last season. Allen was great. Quinn Johnston, I think, is going to fall off a little bit. And aside from that, we're going to see Gadsden maybe have a slight decline, maybe maintain some of it. The Chargers are an interesting organization because when it comes down to it, Justin Herbert was arguably a top 5 quarterback when the offensive line was healthy. The second they got injured, that entire offense crumbled. So we're going to see what that team looks like with a potentially healthy season. Now, if they can't keep that up, there's not much we can do about it at this point. Like maybe that's how the cookie crumbles, or at least the offensive line does. But I want to believe that Lad McConkey and Marion Hampton, the guys high up on the board, but also falling lower than you'd expect, are the beneficiaries of these Chargers changes. All right. So, the world's oldest known pet cat was a 7,500-year-old grave in Cyprus. I actually knew that fun fact. That is a great one, though, Jamie. I actually have a cat piano here with me. I can play a little bit. Did I unplug it? Well, I'm going to pick it up at least. Can't have you guys thinking I'm crazy. Cat piano. So, I'm going to miss my pick here. Shoot. Never pick up your cat piano in the middle of your draft. But yes, I actually have a cat piano. It dispenses treats, but only as many treats as I say my cat can have during that day, because she, as you can see here, is a little chubby. She mostly plays try to break the keys off the keyboard, by the way. And we have another fun cat fact from Jamie. Love these cat facts, by the way. Richest cat ever was named Blackie, who inherited millions from his owner. How much am I leaving my cat when I die? I'm leaving her at least half of the cat food in my house, and not a dime more. This cat has taken more blood for me um, than the Red Cross, and she does not know any box. Sophie is a feral little beast. Um, that's why she keeps getting back up here. But we are back at my pick. So going into this one, I got a pretty balanced build. I'd like to end up with a bit more well-rounded of a team. Mike Evans hasn't been on my board this early, but I think I got to end up with him on a couple of these rosters. The key to these best ball strategies is to end up with at least a decent spread of players. But see, the problem that it leaves me with in this circumstance is that I'm coming into this next one really wondering what I need to do. Now, I could go Jalen Waddle here. I like him. I'm going to start with him on my board, but Quinshon Judkins feels like a good value. I have a lot of Quinshon, though. I ran out of time. I'm going with Jalen Waddle there. That would have been my pick either way. See, the problem for me is that I'm really loving the values that I see from the onesie positions this late or this early in the offseason. And I know that's like pretty standard scenario for best ball season. Like you're going to end up in like the February to April months thinking, okay, Lamar Jackson's never going to go in the 6th round. You're never going to see Jalen Hurts in the 7th round. You won't see Caleb in the 8th. Like that's not what's going to happen as more of the regular fans start filtering into these best ball drafts. But that still makes it hard to go with a like multi tight end build. Like I can't go Brock Bowers and Colston Loveland and feel like I'm making the right choice there. Now, oh, a Metallica song. Which Metallica song you thinking there? Yeah, I'm not a big Enter Sandman guy, but I like the rest of their stuff. Secondarily, DJ Moore at that pick. I have taken a lot of DJ Moore. He's been falling a little bit further than I've expected. So I've been able to get him a little bit late. Like whenever I'm at more of a middle of the draft, not at the turn sort of spot, I can get him at like that 6th spot, maybe 6 or 7 spots after I took Waddle there. I see those guys in the same ballpark. See, the thing with Waddle that really makes me enthusiastic is if you had to compare Waddle to another player, you'd probably pick somebody similar to like a Troy Franklin. And we really saw Bo Nix jive with Troy Franklin throughout his career at Oregon, as well as in his last season with the Denver Broncos. So if you give me another speedy player in that role, I'm willing to take them and believe that they are going to be able to put together a competent offense. Cortland Sutton's up to 30 years old. He put together a wide receiver one season, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, I think nothing else matters actually would be quite the bop on the piano. I'll see if I can get it configured that way. It has an app. I'm sure it can do that. Hey, it's actually funny enough. The cat piano was on my wedding registry. Big props to Peter, one of my groomsmen, really hooked me up with that one. The wife let me put half of our items on our registry, which is fantastic. Um, but let's move it forward. Let's take a gander at some of the picks here because actually, this draft is absolutely flying, by the way. We're already in the sixth round here. I love to see that. We're getting it going. People are trying to get those little boards out of the way. I'm with it. I thank goodness for me because I lagged on this hard. So I'm happy to be going into this one. Now, I would love to have RJ Harvey fall to me here. I've been a big fan of the value there. I know J.K. Dobbins is even more of a value, but I saw enough from Harvey to feel good about it, and his athletic metrics were off the charts. I'm willing to believe that if he had come out in this running back class, he'd be one of the top three guys, anyways. So hoping that he falls, and he did not at all. He went the second I said that. So did Marvin Harrison. So did Ramondre Stevenson. And I'm sitting here with a bunch of receivers and Brock Bowers. So where do we go from here is the question. So we have Jalen Hurts on the board. That's not bad. Caleb Williams went off, so I can't even naked stack on Caleb. I'm inclined to almost take Chuba here. Gives me some running back depth. I'm not terribly opposed to Chuba's value as a whole. I think they will bring somebody in, but if they don't, Brooks hasn't shown me anything yet. I think Chuba gets at least the first crack at that starting job. On the tail end here, though, I'm not taking Jalen Warren. That's just way too early for him. I think what I have to do is go with my boy, Jordan Tyson. I love Tyson. I think that value is fantastic. You're getting him as the third rookie wide receiver. There's a good chance he's the number one. For a lot of people, Tyson is going before the rest of them. So if I'm looking at that board, give me whatever rookie's falling down because all three of those guys are NFL talents. We saw that great video of Tyson getting those athletic catches today. Looks like he can move around well. It looks like he's healthy. If he was healthy all season, he'd probably be the one in this class. So I'm happy to take him over pretty much anyone there. But let's see what Jamie thinks of mine because Jamie's a day one fan here. Love his stuff. So he's been skipping Harvey, getting Dobbins at value. I'm honestly on the same boat there. Like I'd rather have Dobbins at his value, but I like Harvey's value too. I don't think you're going wrong with either of them. Fifth round, eighth round isn't really a bad split for an ambiguous backfield with a high run rate team, which they will be. But aside from that, I am going to go against the Brooks takeover just because, I love Brooks. Really, don't get me wrong. I thought he was a fantastic college talent, but the one thing that kills me about Brooks is like we have such a freaking track record of highly drafted running backs that don't pan out, that just don't ever fire. Marshawn Lloyd, Rashad Penny, like Bishop Sankey. That name felt bad saying next to Brooks. I think he's a lot better than Sankey, but even that being said, like I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, this sleeper is going to hit. It's finally going to hit. And then you misfire. Because in that case, Chuba Hubbard is an insane value. Now, I think Brooks will carve out a role. I think by week 10, there's a good chance that he takes over that starting role. But we even saw Rico Dowdle last year. Like, he had I believe 569 yards in 3 games. That should be enough to get you the running back one role. But they still went back to Chuba because they like the guy. They're paying him a lot. The money works there. And I'm just inclined to still believe that he's a value at RB27. And we got Bishop Stanky there. Also, thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. I mean, dude, it takes a lot of work. I do work from home, so I actually have to talk to myself all day, which my therapist suggests might not be a benefit to my mental state. But jokes aside, there, don't know which of those was a joke. Speaking of Rico Dowdle, he is the running back on the board that I'm actually looking at here. Now we'll see. I got Bijan and Chuba. I could go wide receiver heavy here, but I'm gonna need to be looking at quarterback real soon. I think the stack with Mike Evans is good here. I really don't have a ton of Mike Evans teams. I think wide receiver 22 is a little rich. Mike Evans playing a San Francisco uniform just feels wrong, but maybe I'm just not seeing it right. Because like that, I think that's the easy thing to get lost with. And then following that up, we're going J.K. Dobbins. Like it fell to us. We were talking about it on the show. It's the right pick now. So with that, you have to go with the stack in that case, especially when you have a low exposure. Like I know I have a low exposure to Evans. I've been looking at my rankings. He always ends up a little bit lower than I'm expecting. So Brock Purdy, Mike Evans, I'm not going to end up with a lot of Brock Purdy stacks unless I end up with Pearsall. So yeah, still getting over a cold. Apologies. So I'm going to have to go with him there. And then Mike Evans on the other side of it, I know I got a blind spot there, so I'm going to go ahead and throw him in there. Hope that works out. Hope that works out. Josh Downs is just such an interesting pick. I freaking love that. I'm trying to get a trade done with Josh Downs as part of it too this week. I been talking to actually co-host Chev's friend Eric. He's been throwing me a trade offer trying to get a first off my team. We whittled it down to a Trey McBride, Tyler Warren swap. I'd be getting Trey. He'd be getting the late first in this round's draft. I'd get Scat. He'd get Tootin, and I'd get Josh Downs. And I believe he'd get Michael Wilson. It's one of those big blockbuster trades where nobody wins by the end of it, but I'd be kind of down for it. Downs I like here. Michael Pittman I like at the value. Quinn Johnson I hate at the value, so we'll see about that. Xavier Worthy still piques my interest. Like, there's still a world where Xavier Worthy gets a shot as a wide receiver one. I know that Rashee Rice passed the conduct evaluation. You never know what's going to happen on that team. Maybe he develops. I don't think he will. I've long since died on that hill, but I can hope. We got 17 picks here, so screw it. We'll talk about something else. Let's move on briefly. Let's see if I can actually share something that I was trying to previously. Oh, cool, I can. So we're up in 17 picks. There's plenty of time. Go ahead and check this out. This is our new stats package. We have been building this out for some time. We are showing full running back and wide receiver point per game breakdown in terms of usage. You can see each coaching formation. We have all of the teams. This is entirely free to use. This is on our insights page. Open, ready for business. This is downloadable on the App Store. Check it out. We would love to see you guys in there. And genuinely, it has been really fun building out this stuff. So give it a look. See, we would love some feedback. And to go along with that, we have our first round NFL draft contest live right now. You can get in there entirely free. Best way to put in your rookie rankings, you could win a free NFL jersey. You could win a free college jersey. Pick your poison. But definitely check it out. We're going to be releasing a lot more contests over the next couple weeks. So good to get in here early while it's low entry, because real soon that ad money is going to start getting spent and you are going to need to have some good ranks. But I still will. So please check us out in League Champ. We're still on that. But let's get back to the draft. I'm up in 8 picks here, so come on. I probably have like 7 seconds left. Let's hit it right here. Oh wait, I actually did hear this song. We're gonna play that song. I'm gonna see if I can get that to my audio here. But I did hear the song. It's absolutely delightful. It's long and it's good. Did you write that yourself, Jamie? Because that is a freaking bop. I got that and I was like, honestly, can kind of jam to it. Ooh, we got Josh Downs here. We got Josh Downs. So that's still an option. The quarterbacks are getting gross. Malik Willis is gross. Jordan Mason, also gross. So we'll see. We'll see what we're doing here. And I'm hoping at least we get Downs. I might stack up on wide receiver here. Just try and build out a team with a lot of upside. Matt Golden, potential wide receiver one. It could happen. Hope for I'm not gonna get Jordan Love on the way back. Maybe I go Jaden Higgins. Hope for that bring back on CJ Stroud. That makes sense. But he was taken directly as I was saying that, no less. Well, when when the demons tell you that you have to take Rashad White, you take Rashad White. That is just what you have to do sometimes. All right, let's see if I can find this song because we got a couple minutes here. I'm down to show Jamie some love on the pod. Number one fan here, Jamie. One of my favorite people to have in the chat. If you're in the chat, write anything down. It gives me something to talk about because I will run out eventually. So, but please keep that in mind. Eventually, in about 17 picks, I will be out of content. So if I have 3 sets of content prior to that, that would be delightful. Let's see if I can find it. I will I will do my best there. Ooh, coded the instrumentals. You a bit of an audio guy, Jamie? I didn't know that. I got it on my email. I know how to do this. I'm a technology guy, Jamie. That's quite what I am. Okay, how many picks do I have before I get absolutely bopped here? Oh my, we're all the way back at 9. What? Come on now. Let's keep it on my team here. One moment. All right, I got it there. How do I have it go to the main screen? Where's that button at? Now, I can figure that out later. Why would I do that at this juncture? Alrighty. Believe Justin sent that to me in the email. He did share it with me via email. I know where everything is. Super good at finding stuff. I am tired today. You guys may not hear this from my voice, but boy, oh boy, did I have a bad cold this week. They had us all sitting in a room for like 4 days, and I absolutely lost my voice. That being said, I did win best at coding, so made corporate America very proud. Hey, that's at least worth something to me. But actually, I'm gonna make my pick, and then I'll figure out where the song is. Now, let's see here. So, going into this one, there are a lot of fun options. I love Kenyon Sadiq, super athletic, and he's gone. I'm gonna stop talking about players. Isaiah Likely, I like. Not thrilled about that one. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt feels like the wrong pick. So is Jonathan Brooks. Feel like I'm capping upside if I go either of those guys. So I don't think I'm going running back there. I think that leaves wide receiver. Now, CJ Stroud already got taken, so that strategy is null and void. I could probably fill something in with Cam Ward, so I'm hoping he falls here because that feels like a safe pick. Now, on the other side of that, I have loved the film from Denzel Boston. I think he is a bona fide talent. I think he's really good. I think he could actually be a wide receiver 1 on a lot of rosters. So I think that is where I want to go here. Yeah, in fact, that is where I want to go here. I'm going to be okay with both of those guys. I'll speed up this draft for everyone. And I end up with a pretty fun roster. Now, I don't hate the idea of going with like a Jawan Jennings there because Jawan Jennings is genuinely like a professional's professional. He's going to end up on a roster and he'll probably be good. He'll probably be at least the number 2 on one of the teams that you care about. But it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough to trust that it's going to work out for him at this point. Like the fact that he hasn't found a team does make me a little bit more worried just because that like bona fide upside from him is not all the way there. Like He's not a Tyreek Hill. He's like, oh, and we actually got the bop here. Yeah, let's I can copy the link because I'm a technology man myself. So, and if I say that 3 more times, I'll stop struggling to find stuff. Oh, let's see if I can play this. I'm gonna download it real fast. Okay, got it. Oh, we're figuring out how to do technology things in the process. We're up in 13 picks. Draft is moving strong. Juwan's still on the board. If he comes back to me, I'm pretty happy about that one. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. And in fact, it's not. Tyrone Tracy's still at the top of the board. We got Juwan Jennings, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, I'm just not going to end up with at a lot of points in this NFL season. Like it's hard for me to trust that Travis Hunter is going to be valuable on a best ball lineup at this day and age. Like it's just difficult. Who's to say it will happen? You know what? In fact, I'm going to give myself one of these. Did he even come through as far? Well, regardless, here's actually Chev's. Hey, you know what? We'll keep you guys in suspense. I have a fun song that Jamie made for Chev. It's real nice. It's for our podcast. We're going to be breaking it out in a couple episodes here, but I'm sure Chev doesn't mind me sharing a little sneak preview if you made it to minute 30 in the show. So this is some music from Jamie Parag. Definitely check out his stuff. Dynasty Six Pack. Great guy. On here every week. Fantastic guy to check out on the YouTube streets, on the Discord and all that. But we are moving into our next pick here. So at this point, I have Brock Purdy, Cam Ward, Bijan, Chuba, J.K. Dobbins, Rashad White, Chris Olave, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Tyson, Josh Downs, and Denzel Boston, along with Brock Bowers rounding it out. Now, that's a pretty good set of QB, running back, and wide receiver. I need another tight end in there. I probably need 2, to be perfectly honest. And I probably need some additional talent in the running back room when I'm looking at this. Now, what I'm thinking here is I get the stack with Calvin Ridley because I actually still think that Ridley could emerge as the wide receiver 1 there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go a little crazy with it and go Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson has some of the best film you will see for a running back. If you watch his Nebraska tape, it looks like prime Jamal Charles at times. And given he doesn't have that speed, he's not that elite athleticism. He's 4'5", 8 guy, probably, depending on if you trust the pro day or the combine. But the juke moves, the athleticism, the play style is just exactly what I want to see in a running back. Check out that Nebraska film. Highly recommended. It's one of my favorite college tapes to watch. But let's check out this Chev song. Does it come on? I can't really tell.
No fluff. Just straight fire from Chef Fantasy Footballer. Chef Fantasy Football.
Hopefully it is. Let's see if the chat says so. That would help. But I will go back to Jamie here. Travis Hunter can get you 15 points with just 4 targets. He ain't wrong. See, like it's interesting. At this point in the draft, you just have to take a stand on players. Like I'm looking at like Deebo Samuel, for example. Like I still think Deebo has juice in the tank. If he lasts here, I kind of have to take him. Adni Mitchell, he's kind of in the same boat for me. But when it comes down to it, there are just other guys on the board that you have to trust the upside on. And the other part of best ball that I think that like gets talked about enough. And I'm glad the song was playing because I could not hear it. So therefore I was a little bit concerned that it was not. So Really appreciate the heads up there. But and glad I didn't show you guys the whole thing because Chev's going to be breaking it out later. But the thing that gets overlooked in best ball is the strategic aspect of it. You got 20 rosters for the little board, and anybody has $60 for fantasy football, so this isn't cost prohibitive. Like you can get into the little board in the remainder of this week. Close this on Thursday for pre-draft best ball. You need to stack. That you have to. Mathematically, it is the optimal play. It's like being in blackjack and being at like a 5 and not hitting. You have to. It doesn't make sense to just give the dealer the hand. So, every time you can get a stacking option, you kind of have to think about it. Like, for example, here, I would love to take Mason Taylor. And Jamie actually rightfully brings up Taylor at this point. But even though I think Gunnar Helm is kind of an inferior prospect, he didn't map out great in my prospect model. He got hurt at the combine. He played fine last year. Wasn't terribly impressed. I thought the O-line was the main reason he got targets. But with Cam Ward on my team, Gunnar Helm, and Calvin Ridley, that double stack might end up winning me a week in week 15, 16, or 17. And then bring it back on the other side. Once you have those stacking partners, that's when you actually get to make the choice of, hey, who are the guys I actually believe in here regardless? So I look at my roster. I say, okay, my running back room's fleshed out okay. I like my wide receiver room. Maybe Mason Taylor is actually the option there. And then I go back and find the guy that I was looking at in the first place and have a full tight end room that I'm feeling confident in. And the only thing that's going to scare me away from that is the one chance that I don't get a quarterback who plays snaps. So we'll see. We will see, because that's going to be the terrifying part of this. I'm sitting here with Aaron Rodgers, probably the last guy I feel comfortable with, Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins, Ty Simpson, and Shedeur Sanders. Maybe we get to Deshaun Watson. I still feel okay about a game or two from him, but I sure as shit don't want him on my roster. So we go through and we hope that we get back to a quarterback position on this next go around. Well, we're heading towards the end of the draft. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. Wanted to make sure to put out some draft content. We may or may not be on Thursday. I'm not really sure. Me and Chev are going to be doing a bunch of stuff for the draft. So definitely tune into the channel. We'll probably be putting out shorts. We'll be putting out videos. We'll be on there. We'll be messing around. But I do need to actually probably do that. So we're going to be drafting. And maybe I'll get another one in here in the next couple days. But I'm not entirely sure. So can't commit to timelines as much as I'd like to on this. But we're going to average a draft a week by the end, so don't you worry there. And that beer is going to help my throat feel better. Well, at the top of the board here, we have Kamani Vidal. Interesting at running back, 63. All right. Hey, actually, I'm going to throw this one on because I just think it's fun conversation. Who you prefer here, Massage Watson or Shitter Sanders? I saw a little something from Shedeur. I didn't want to see a lot because I wasn't really looking for it. I didn't expect him to be a tier 1 talent. Don't think he was. But that being said, Shedeur is an adequate player. And I think that he could start NFL games. Now, in that offense, do I care? Probably not right now. They need more talent. And if they don't get one of the players that I'm confident in, like I'm less high on Carnell Tate. If that's who they're taking early, I'm not going to be in on that offense as a whole. But when it comes down to it, Deshaun Watson probably has better mobility than Shedeur Sanders. So I think I'd have to be more in with Watson from a fantasy perspective. But from a real life perspective, I'd rather see Shedeur be successful than Deshaun Watson. I think everyone would. I would hope so, at least aside from Deshaun's mom, maybe. Also, I gotta ask what kind of beer I'm drinking. Always happy to hype up Gumball Head. Yep. Three Floyd's Gumball Head, fantastic beer. One of my favorites. But oh shit, we're drafting. Okay, so coming back here, I need a QB. I need a QB, and I think I'm gonna wait till my last hit. So that brings me to maybe wide receiver. And Ted Hurst was one of my Senior Bowl standouts. He was fantastic. He really hasn't risen up draft boards as much as I thought he would. I thought he was going to be getting out ahead and avoiding the hype train, but when it comes down to it, if I'm getting him at wide receiver 80, give me that all day. And then on the back end, give me Ollie Gordon, or yeah, I'm gonna go Ollie Gordon there. You know, gives me some exposure to that Miami running game. There's a good chance late in the season Gordon gets an opportunity. We'll see. Maybe he doesn't. We really don't know what that offense is going to look like, but it could easily go through the running back. So if it does, let's go with that. And on the back half here, I am just hoping for a Ty Simpson or Shador slide. Now, I will mention that Ted Hurst is one of the most athletic, freaky players that I have ever seen. He comes in at about 210. Depends on which side you look at, to be honest. He played at about 190, 6'4", and some of the nastiest catches you're going to see. He is just a bona fide alpha, a really solid player, and he could easily end up being the steal of this draft class that is kind of packed with middle of the road wide receiver talent. So we'll see how that actually turns out. You know, we're up in 17 picks here. And, oh, DeMercado. Interesting. I mean, DeMercado could be. I love Brashard Smith. I hope Brashard Smith just ends up getting to play at some point. But since we're at the end here, let's quickly hit our ad right quick. We'll be back in just 1 second. It'll give me a chance to get my breath back, which I desperately need. So we're hitting an ad. Oh, shoot. The ad stopped playing. Okay, back to sharing my screen. Well, we had only a little bit of time of me hydrating myself, so that's fantastic to see. And we still have a fan here. That's crazy. Two guys, 2 cups, double fisting. I mean, or one guy, 2 cups. 3 cups, 1 guy. 2 guys, 1 pot. Is the podcast. Well, we are going into this, and Ty Simpson is still on the board. That is certainly who I'm hoping falls to me. We'll see who actually ends up being the fit here, who actually ends up dropping to that spot. But if I can get Ty Simpson, he is going to get drafted by an NFL roster. I'm not sure which one. Could be Cleveland. Could be New York Jets. Hell, could be the Indianapolis Colts. Like, could be the Pittsburgh Steelers. There are a lot of options. The Arizona Cardinals could take him. I would love to see the Cardinals trade back. I actually heard on Fantasy Goats today about the potential likelihood of the Cardinals trying to trade back to get to Ty Simpson later in the draft. I think that would be a great fit for him and a great fit for that roster. Oh, you jackwagon taking a fourth quarterback. My golly darn. Dag nabbit. Well, that's unfortunate. I need a third quarterback here. Who do I go? Deshaun Watson or Justin Fields? Justin Fields is going to play games. I'm going Justin. All righty. Well, before I answer a couple of these ones, let's quickly take a look at the roster. I ended up with Brock Purdy, Cam Ward, Justin Fields. That is a weak quarterback room for me. I normally end up with a little bit more of a power QB build. Bijan Robinson, Chuba Hubbard, J.K. Dobbins, Rashad White, Emmett Johnson, and Ollie Gordon. I'm really hoping that White, Johnson, or Gordon end up filling a couple weeks for one of these guys. Wide receiver, I got Olave, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Tyson, Josh Downs, Denzel Boston, Calvin Ridley, and Ted Hurst. I got to say, I love that wide receiver room. I ain't complaining about any of that. Got a couple of guys early, got a couple of them late. Couldn't care less. Brock Bowers, Gunnar Helm, and Mason Taylor rounding up that tight end room. And I'm feeling great about that. So I think that is a solid roster. I don't think it's my favorite one, but it's definitely not my least favorite. But let's answer a couple of these questions, and then we'll close you guys out of here. So, thoughts on Anthony Richardson as a rusher? Well, Danny Dimes is out. I don't know that A. Rich will be on that roster day one. I think they're hoping Riley Leonard's starting for them. I love Anthony Richardson. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. I still believe there's a chance. I love Taylor Green too, so I have a type. But I would love him at most spots. Given last year, I wasted a lot of draft capital trading up for a Rich, so I I don't need more of him on my dynasty rosters, but you should want more of him on yours because some idiot like me already paid a first for him. Ty Simpson is the next Kenny Pickett, so I'm glad you missed out. I mean, I get a little of that watching him. He has one of my favorite stats. And I've said this one before, but I'll say it again. He had the highest completion rate at passes above 30 yards. He had the lowest completion rate of the NFL quarterback class here from 20 to 30 yards. He's a weird quarterback. I don't know how good he is. I hope he's great. I'm rooting for him, but I'm not sure. And honestly, not a fan of your roster. Thanks for the donation. I mean, I'll be honest, not my favorite build either, but a unique one. To be honest, if the rest of my builds don't pan out, that means this roster was good because that means that all the other players that I've been taking in every other draft that I think are better are going to pan out or didn't pan out. So we'll see. Been great having you guys here. Thank you for sticking around for the show. We'll try and put out more content throughout this week, but appreciate you guys being on, and you guys have a fantastic evening. Peace out. Also, like, subscribe, follow, tell your mom, send pigeons and bird carriers or whatever. And two guys, one pod. Follow. Also, you can find me at Duck League Champ and download the League Champ app and win some free jerseys. Come on, do it. You won't. All right. Catch you guys later.